All right, ladies, gentlemen, and dear chess fans, this is the first episode of our chess podcast. And today I have with me Mr. Dennis Wagner from Germany, who became a grandmaster in 2015 at the age of 17. He's played many times for the German national team in Mitropa Cup and in the European Championship, but he's also playing other tournaments every now and then. Quite recently, the Grand Swiss in November, which is one of the best tournaments on the Isle of Man, where you can qualify actually for the FIDE Candidates tournament. And it's actually happening right now, yeah? And the most spectacular thing about Dennis, and why I want to have him on the show first, is Dennis is not like the other chess pros. Means his ELO right now is at 2620, but he doesn't do chess full time at all. He's like he has a bachelor and a master's in physics, and he's working full time as a software engineer. So Dennis, welcome on the show. How do you manage to do that?
Yeah, thank you very much for the nice introduction, Leo. It's a pleasure to be here, especially since it's the first episode. So yeah, it's an honor that you selected me as the first candidate. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to talk with you. And I think there will be many interesting topics we can cover today.
Great.
And yeah, to start with your first question, how do I manage to do that? Yeah, I guess it's mainly my love for chess that drives me to spend a lot of time, apart from my work, to work with chess as well. And yeah, also my wife is a full-time chess player. So she's also studying. She's studying as well, but her main focus is chess. So we are both fully into the chess business, and yeah, that gives me a lot of motivation to focus my life on it.
Makes sense. At what age did you actually start playing chess, and how did that develop?
I started at the age of around 6.5. I can still remember it was like some evening in the winter, and my parents taught me the rules. We were sitting together at the kitchen table. They brought the chessboard, and they just showed me how the pieces moved. And I got immediately quite fascinated by the game. Started playing with them. Quite soon, I already beat them for the first time. And
what age did you beat them actually?
I think it was probably in a matter of weeks. I don't remember exactly.
A matter of weeks after learning the game.
I mean, my parents are not full-time chess players. They know the rules, and that's basically it. But of course, through me and so on, they also developed quite some interest in chess. But yeah, we are not coming from a chess family at all. So it's kind of a coincidence that I got so much into it.
The first time probably that I ever heard someone got taught by the actual parents and not by some grandpa in the family. Because for me, as well, my parents, they don't know how to play chess at all. But I had this one grandpa in my family, and he was quite strong. I don't know at what age I beat him, probably like 12 or 14. He was like almost 2000, or like 2000 online chess maybe I would give him, and he never played at a club or so. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I think for my wife, for Dinara, it was actually also her grandparents that taught her. So it's also my experience that it's in many stories. I mean, I've heard many stories of chess players over the years, but yeah, probably statistically speaking, the grandparents dominate there.
Exactly.
But for me, it was actually my parents that started my chess career and supported me all the way.
And how did that develop then? Did you join a club immediately? Did you have a trainer?
Yes, exactly. It was quite soon that I started to join a club next to my hometown, and I went there to get the opportunity to play with other people. I also had my first coach there who gave me some lessons. Started having lessons on the weekends because I got very fascinated. Started playing some local tournaments. I was participated at my first simul back then. I was playing against Grandmaster Vladimir Hort. He was giving a simul at my home club. And there actually it was also my dad and my grandpa were also participating as well. So my grandpa also played a little bit of chess when he sometimes played.
Okay. And from there
my
on,
grandparents are also very interested in chess up to this day. I said that also all my grandparents are very interested into chess up to this day. Apart from my grandpa, they don't actually play, but don't even know the rules. But they're just fascinated by it. My grandma, for example, got acquainted to the internet and to smartphones like this just because she wanted to watch my chess games. Just a
interesting.
Funny fact.
Interesting. Okay, and ever since then, you had a trainer in the club, and you progress very fastly, I would assume.
Exactly, after playing some local tournaments, having first successes, I started playing on the state area, the state of Hessen, where I come from. And it was actually in 2007 that I had my major breakthrough. So at the age of 10, I was turning 10, I first won the championship of Hessen. And after that, I qualified for the German championship. And I was more or less an underdog there. I was ranked like number 14 or so. I didn't have like a great rating at the time or so. But then I managed to win this German championship very convincingly with like 10.5 out of 11.
Wow.
That was
When you
like
say you
my
didn't have-
breakthrough, I would say.
Okay. And when you say you didn't have great rating at the age of 10, what does that mean?
I think I had like 1225 or so. That was my rating.
Okay. Because I know some
Like it-
people who said the same about their chess rating at 12 and it was already like 2000 or whatever. But
Yeah, it was
100.
still quite low at that point. It was only in the following year that it started to develop. So after winning this German championship, I also got to play my first junior championship on the world level back then in Turkey. And yeah, I didn't have any special result, just a solid, I think, 30th place, something like that. But basically, there it all started. I became a member of the so-called Vincent Group of German chess, like the special supported group that was founded by the German Chess Federation, together with Matthias Blüber, Rasmus Swane, at the beginning Jonas Lampert, and later Alexander Donchenko, who are all strong grandmasters nowadays. And yeah, so we started having lots of training camps, and we were always competing against each other, first at the national youth championships and also internationally at other tournaments. So there was always some kind of competition that fueled our development, I would say. And besides that, we're all very good friends up to this point. So it was a really nice dynamic that developed there.
Great. Okay. They're actually all in the top 5 right now in Germany, right? Because it's very hard in Germany to be like a top 10 chess player for the people that don't know. Maybe if you look at other nations with 2,600, you can already be the best player of the nation. But in Germany, number
Indeed.
one right now is Vincent Keimer, who's an absolute phenomenon. What's his elo right now? 2730 or something, ranked 20 in the world, I think.
Around that.
Behind him, we have Matthias, we have Alexander, Rasmus, his brother as well, Frederick. Yeah,
Yes.
you're rank 6 right now, if I'm correct, right?
As far as I remember, yes. It's
Okay,
also I kind of reached my rating peak also beginning of this year, this 2620 rating. I probably will talk about it later again, but I needed quite some time to crack this 2600 rating. But now in the last around half a year or so, it's been going quite well for me. So
that's
I
great.
hope to continue like that.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Okay, and at what age would you say, or which tournament was your first major breakthrough? Was it like your first IM norm? Was it a specific tournament you have in mind, or?
So at the youth level, like I already mentioned, this German championship. And after that, I became German champion again in 2009 in the youth level. And basically every year I was playing German championships and also world championships. I was participating from 2007 to 2014 every year. There, I unfortunately didn't manage to get a medal in all these years. Like my best placement was 6th place in Slovenia in 2012. That was actually very close. Like draw in the last round would have been enough already for 2nd place, but I unfortunately lost that game. So yeah, then from next cornerstones, let's see. I got my first AM norm, I think, during the Neckar Open, which later developed into the Kränker Open. Back then it was still taking place in Deitzelsau. There I did my first IM norm, and I became an IM, I believe, in 2012. After that, I started playing in Bundesliga. Maybe this is maybe a cornerstone I would like to mention. Starting from season 2012, 13, if I'm not mistaken. It was my first season playing Bundesliga, first for Hockenheim. Later, I switched to Viernheim, where I'm playing now. And this was, of course, a great opportunity for me because the German Bundesliga is so strong, and playing with all these top players there is a great chance to grow.
It's the strongest league actually in the world right now, isn't it? I saw the
Exactly,
last
and it's
round
bound
of
to
the
get
last.
even stronger
Yeah,
every
exactly.
year.
I saw one of the last rounds. Hikaru even played for your team as well, because you're actually playing at SC Viernheim right now. And what's your team like? It's like 5 players of the top 10 in the world or something like that. Who's
Yes,
that?
exactly. We have Hikaru Nakamura who's playing the candidates tournament, and we also have like Paha Maksutlu and Nodebek after Satorov in the lineup, who got actually very, very close to qualifying. There's also Shak Mamedyarov, who's right now is a second for Abbasov at the candidates tournament, but of course also played there many times himself. Absolute world-class player. And a couple of other strong grandmasters like Duda as a top player, or
Yeah,
Basim Amin, for example, David Anton Goyaro, Anton Korobov. The list goes on and on. It's
amazing. So
really great team.
which board are you actually playing in the Bundesliga for them? Because
At the
most of the
moment, most
players probably don't play every round, especially Hikaru. He wanted to play like 2, 3 rounds, I think, to get some practice actually in before joining the candidates tournament in Toronto. But from the other players who are like the regulars that show up, which board are you playing?
So in this season, actually, I've been playing mostly around board 6 to 8, something around this, depending on our lineup. But we usually have like some of these top grandmasters. We do bring like Mamedyarov, for example, was actually playing every single game this season,
Wow,
which
he must love
underlines
playing.
our. No, he's a really big fan of the team. He does a lot. I mean, all these acquisitions like Nakamura, they're actually also coming via him.
Really?
He's creating
How does that
contacts,
work?
making
How does he acquire
recommendations, and so
them?
on.
How does he acquire Nakamura? Does he just
I
make
mean,
him an offer?
he meets all these people regularly at strong elite tournaments, right? So he can just just ask him a question like, "What do you think about playing for our club? It's really nice there." And then he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll think about it. Send me
Okay.
an offer," and then it's already get started. So it's more or less like our team captains discuss it among themselves, and also hearing opinions from the players who would fit well in the team, because it's also very important. Not only that we have strong players, but they also must fit into the team. And there must be some harmony between the players, good atmosphere. That's also very, very important. So taking all these things into account, and then for example, Chuck makes some suggestions, and then if they like a suggestion, and he has a contact, and he reaches out to them. But there are, of course, also other connections we have in the team, but that's especially for like these top players. This is one one way this worked.
Okay. So in your team, Shaq not only has the function board 2, board 3 player, but also general manager. He's there for the transfers. He's there to get players in.
Of course, and then the organization part is not done by him, but he's a link to the Vert Elite, which is very valuable.
And what is it like playing with these top guys at the Bundesliga and so on? Do you have team dinner? Do you play some chess afterwards? What is it like?
Yeah, we have actually quite a strong community in the club, so we are going for dinner before and after every match, and it's a great just to sit together, discuss all the games with each other, to feel all this motivation. Remember one evening we were there with, for example, with Nodebek. He got some chess book from somewhere. Somebody had a chess book. He gave it to him, and he immediately started reading it and solving all the exercises in there. And we had some fun discussing some positions. Or sometimes somebody has some studies that are shared, and solve this together. There's always a lot about chess, but also talking about non-chess related things, just having fun. So
But
that's really cool.
everything is related to chess, probably. There's
One way or another, it's
there's
related to
no
chess.
question like what's your current workout plan, or why don't you eat apples or something. It's all chess related.
Also stuff like that. I mean, just on a nice personal level, we're talking there, and also whenever we meet each other at tournaments, we're saying hello and having talks. So it's quite nice that you get to know all these people and that they become very good friends.
Okay, so may I ask, what was it like, especially with Hikaru joining the team? Because obviously Hikaru's the biggest, or maybe the second biggest chess person, or the most famous one in the world after Magnus, because of his streaming activities. And I would not consider him a player who wants to join a team, who wants to play in a team event on a regular basis. So what was it like with him in the last Bundesliga round?
Yeah, that's a good question because, like, on the outside, it's hard to assess Hikaru, right? You just know him basically from his streams and his YouTube videos, and that he's kind of a different person. So it's a bit hard to assess him without getting to know him personally. And actually, he was quite sociable, and it was very cool with him that he played there. First of all, just amazing that he with all his followership on YouTube and Twitch was here in Germany promoting this event in Viernheim, and he was also so open to the public. After the games finished, he stopped very patiently, having interviews, giving autographs to all the people, signing so many boards and T-shirts and you name it. And he came to our live commentary. I even had the pleasure to interview him after his game against Anand that ended in a draw. It was quite interesting, and it was just great opportunity to get to know him like this. He also joined for all the dinners and was talking with the team, and he seemed to enjoy it. I think from his perspective, of course, I mean, first of all, I think he likes to try out new things he hasn't done before in the past. He said he never played in the German Bundesliga in his life, and it was just a nice way to try out something new and not be always with the same people at the same elite tournaments, just to see some new faces, get some new experiences, new tournament mode. And it was, I think, interesting for him. But on the other hand, of course, also for him personally, it's very valuable. I think he even mentioned that apart from the US, Germany is his biggest viewership of his channels. So, of course, he's also not only promoting us, but also promoting himself. And I think it's just a nice win-win for chess, for Viernheim, for Hikaru. I think all are profiting from this cooperation.
I didn't know that his second biggest viewership is actually from Germany. I thought it has to be India or something because in India, chess is the biggest for sure. I know that it's also quite big in Germany, but I didn't know that actually. Okay, but still talking about your last Bundesliga round, I have to mention it, jump to another point, because you actually played a good friend of mine in one of the rounds, because I go to uni with him here in Austria. I know him for 3 years. He's one of my best friends, and he was preparing for your game, and he was like, I'm gonna take this serious. I'm gonna get a draw or get a win. I'm gonna prepare the whole night. And he was even preparing with the grandmaster, so he really took it serious. And then at, like, I don't know, 11 p.m. he texts me like, dude, Leo, this guy is insane. He's playing everything. You can't prepare for him, because for the viewers that don't know, in chess, opening preparation obviously plays a huge role, because your opponent has many games in the database, so you can check which openings is he actually playing, which lines is he playing, and you can prepare a specific line for that. And when my friend was preparing for you, he was like, you play everything. Is that true or not?
Yeah, in some sense it's true. So I can say about myself that I'm quite an opening enthusiast. I really love just to follow all the chess games that are going on. I played every day, and to analyze the openings different players adopt, and to follow the new trends, come up with new ideas myself, just keeping track of everything. So as soon as you know so many games and see so many ideas, of course you also want to play them yourself. So over the years, I became much more flexible. At the beginning, I had more like some fixed repertoire. Like this were the lines I played every game, which I knew the best. But in the recent years, I started to be much more flexible and to vary my approach a bit, playing new openings with white and black, and trying out some new things. Of course, I still have like some favorite openings that I tend to focus on. But I also like to experiment a lot with new stuff.
Which openings actually are your favorite openings, if you want to share, or if you cannot share, it's also fine.
No, I think it's if you study my games deeply, you can see which openings I like. If I would have to name one, I think I would choose the Catalan opening. I really like to play it with white because it's some kind of unique mixture between strategy and tactical play. So first of all, it's a very solid opening. So you develop your king's bishop.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. I hate playing it. It's so, but I've tried it out a couple of times, and whenever I played, I'm like, it's such a slow opening. I don't know. I never developed my pieces to the right squares except the white colored the white bishop, of course.
Hmm.
But other than that, also when I play against, I'm like, this is gonna be a long game, and I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah, it's different from the long diagonals. They can become quite unpleasant. But it's not only that you can like grind down some nice long positional games with this opening, but actually you can also get quite tactical and sharp. Like there are all kinds of pawn sacrifices in the opening when you can play for king set attack. Um, I'm actually also quite. I like to play creative chess and go for the attack. So I like that it offers both opportunities. It's not one sided. You cannot just do one thing, but it's quite versatile.
Interesting. And which opening is your favorite with black? Which one you feel the most comfortable playing?
Like it's hard to say. I would guess for a long time I would have said Grünfeld as my top choice. I like to
Okay.
play this kind of counter-attacking chess with black. And yeah, with Grünfeld you give up the center and have nice piece play. Also, you have this bishop on a long diagonal, exerting some pressure, especially in combination with a passed a pawn. It can become quite powerful. In recent times, I haven't played it actually that much, so adopted more solid approaches, playing the Nimzo Indian defense with black, some classical Beats Gambit, Ragozin stuff. But yeah, it's still up to this day. I like the type of patterns that can arise from the Grünfeld defense.
Okay. So I'm curious, what do you think of my favorite opening, the Jobava London?
The Babylonian you like to play with white. No, it's actually also, especially for shorter time controls, I face it a lot online or on over the board blitz, but also in classical chess, it's underestimated.
I
I
think,
always find it a bit unpleasant to
yeah,
face.
one of the reasons I started playing it every now and then is, first of all, I basically only play Blitz and Rapid Chess.
Yeah,
And yeah, most people, or at least on my level, which is like, let's say 2000 or something, or like 2200 online, most people at that level actually never studied it or looked at it. So
exactly.
you can get into a lot of lines where they're in trouble pretty early. But when I played it over the board in classical chess, after every game, I was like, I'm never gonna play this again. It's so bad. If the other person, if your opponent has time to figure out all the moves, you're just always worse, or you never get an advantage with white, especially with the line with early c5, and then you have to play either e3 or e4.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
But yeah,
Yeah, but okay, most people are just really not so well prepared for it. And even if you know there are like some choices you have to make, if you're not very deep into it or repeated it before the game, it can get tricky.
exactly,
So it's
exactly.
not a bad choice.
Now jumping to a completely different topic, but I also wanted to mention this. I want to share the story, or maybe you want to share the story, or you, of how we actually got to know each other, because we've only
Ah,
met in real life for 2 times, which
it's
was
true.
the first time was in October 2022 in Meierhofen, in the deepest Austrian valley in the Zillertal. And the second time was only half a year ago in the middle of nowhere in Albania.
And what do these
You
two
want to,
things have in common?
sorry?
And what do these two places have in common?
Yeah, that's the question. They both
Yes,
host
they were
the
both
host of the Club Cup, exactly.
exactly the infamous European Club Cup,
Exactly.
which
So the
is
Club Cup is a tournament for the best European clubs, but I would describe it more as a fun tournament. So the prize money is not that big, and most of the people going there just play for fun. Would you agree with that?
yeah, in some sense, yes. Of course, it's still a serious tournament, and there are quite many strong players, and it's very competitive. But at the same time, yeah, also usually atmospheres are quite relaxed at these club cups. People like to go out, party a bit, and just have a good time because it's often also taking place at nice locations.
And the
So it's
partying
a bit.
part is exactly why I joined the first time. So let me share the story real quick. Actually, to give I don't know if I've told you this, to give a little bit more of the backstory.
All right.
One of my friends, he's from Tirol. He plays at Schach ohne Grenzen, and they were it's like the tournament was in Tirol, and they were competing as well. But they were pretty serious. They finished like top 20 or something. They're the real team. And he was like, we were like, we're in uni and we having lectures during the week. I actually had an exam, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna join?" And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe on the weekend. Maybe I have this exam on Wednesday. Let's see." And I have this exam, and on Friday I get the notification that I didn't pass it. And I was like, how in the world did I not pass it? It was, I don't know, it wasn't easy, but like, how do I not pass this exam? I was super sad. I was like, whatever. And then he's like, come on, you can still come over, you can join the friends, you can watch the game. I'll get you a pass, a visitor's pass. You can watch the games, and then you can have fun with us, party afterwards, because that's what's chess is all about. No, no. And then I go there, and on Saturday, like in the morning, I think I arrived. Yeah, I just went there Saturday morning. Yeah, and then I arrive shortly before before the last round on Saturday, and a friend calls me. He's like, "Leo, check online, check your exam. They made some mistakes. I think you passed as well." And I look at it and like, "Oh my God, yeah, I passed as well. I actually got a good grade. Let's go!" And my mood jumped up immediately. Afterwards, I got into the playing hall. I was watching the last games. I think this club cup was actually won by was it the Novibor? I think Novibor.
I think so. Novibor won it.
With Harry was playing first board. Harry Kriegner,
Exactly.
did it. I think they
And
also had Ezzy Penko or someone,
yeah,
but yeah,
we
lots of
finished
those
third
players.
with Viernheim. Actually, this was also our best European result.
Really? That was
Yes,
your
yes.
bet? Okay,
The first medal we took there.
okay, okay. And second place was some French team with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, I think, if I remember
Yeah, as
correctly.
far as I remember. Yeah.
But anyways, then it's Saturday. It's the winners ceremony. And after the winners ceremony, we're like, okay, what we're gonna do? And there's like one or two bars in the small town, and it was like a underground bar, some, how do you say Keller in English? Some
Yeah,
basement,
some
a
cellar or
basement bar.
basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you walk in there, and like the temperature goes up 10 degrees immediately, and you have no air. It's like being in Africa. And
Yeah, it
then
was clearly not made for that many people.
yeah, not at all, not at all. But it's like I sort of had a moment that struck me like, what is going on here? It's like the smallest bar. There's some table soccer in the corner, and there's like the top 30 chess players in here drinking, partying. And then a special part, of course, Magnus Carlsen was there with his team, with the Offerspiel Chess Club, and they were having fun, of course, with all the other people. And then how did it go? How did it go? To be
As,
concrete, I don't remember.
yeah, as far as I remember, Magnus was playing together with his friend from his team, who was it, Benjamin Halderson.
Yeah,
As far as I remember, they were playing table soccer there, and they had two opponents, so they were playing 2-on-2. And then I think both of us independently from each other had the same idea, right? Just to
of
move a bit
course.
closer to the table soccer, watch them play, and if there's any chance, get in, because like at least I, for my part, am a big fan of table soccer. I love playing it. It's in my free time. In general, like everything that is competitive, and table soccer is just a perfect example of that.
That's why we
Um,
were so good, because you were so good, because I'm not good at table soccer. Because we were then, like, I also remember one Bulgarian friend of mine was there, and she was like, "You have to play against them because she said Haldos looks the same as me," which is like a big overstatement, because we're blonde and we're 2 meters tall, but other than that, we don't look alike at all. And then she was like, "Okay, you have to play against them." I was like, "Okay, I don't know. I didn't know who you were at the time." And you also asked me like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Leo." It's like, "Leo, like last name or something?" It's like, I'm Leo. But like, "So are you a grandmaster, Leo?" Like, "No, no, I'm just I'm just here for fun." But yeah, I remember the first game we beat them like 9-1 or 10-1 or something. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was 9-1 that we won. It was quite memorable.
Yeah.
And I think after the game, Magnus like shook my hand and said to us, "It was a very humbling experience."
Yeah, you told me that in Albania. I didn't hear that. No, that was a great night for me personally, but just because I got to know you, of course. And yeah, I think then since then we just been in contact. Last
It was a
year,
cool coincidence.
sorry,
It was a nice coincidence.
100%, 100%. And then last year I also joined the European Club Cup again in Albania. You were there with Wienheim again, and we met in Albania. which was, I don't know, how did you like the place in Albania, the hotel?
Yeah, I mean, it was still nice at the sea, but overall it was not comparable to Meyerhofen. There, we had the best time, and in Albania also many people, including myself, got sick at some point from the food, and it was not the nicest tournament. So many people couldn't play at some point. There were many forfeits of games. Of course, not the nicest conditions than to play, but it was still a nice experience, I would say. I remember when we met, we took quite some nice walk along the promenade, had a good talk.
Yeah,
It,
that's
it,
true.
was, it
That's
was
true.
still nice.
At least we were at the beach. That's what mattered. Also, I'm already looking forward to playing Club Cup this year in Vrnjačka Banja in Serbia, I think it is. And either I'll be joining with the Austrian team, or I also got an offer to join a North Macedonian team.
So you're actually playing this time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's new.
I'm not just there for the party. I'll be actually playing one or another game. I mean, I don't hate classical chess. I just prefer speed chess a lot more because obviously I'm not that much into the game like you anymore. And when I want to play, I really want to play well. And then I have to prepare if I'm playing a classical game. That costs quite a lot of time for me. That's the only reason I don't like it.
Indeed.
Oh, coming back to the questions, which other tournaments do you have planned this year for yourself?
Actually, for now, it's not that much yet. So at the beginning of the year, I had quite a lot of chess. So there was basically one Bundesliga weekend after the another. Then I was also playing in the Austrian League, which was 5 games. And now I'm having a small chess break, focusing a bit more on my work. And currently, like in the middle of my plans, maybe I will choose some open tournaments in summer or so. It's not quite sure, of course. Yeah, especially when you're working full time, every tournament you play is kind of commitment because you have to take vacation for it, which is obviously limited with 30 vacation days a year. You don't not get too far, so you have to choose carefully what you play. That's why I also love playing leagues, which are on the weekend. So yeah, at the beginning of the year, basically all my weekends were occupied with chess. Now for the first time, basically had to two free weekends in a row. Doesn't happen too often. Of course, I was really hoping to play in September at the Chess Olympiad in Budapest. That was kind of my dream to make it back into the national team. I actually played one time for Germany at the 2015 European Team Championships in Reykjavik. We finished 6th. That was a nice chance. Ever since it's been close, but I didn't make it to the team anymore. Actually, now for a while there was quite some rating difference, and now since my good results in this year, end of last year, actually, I managed to catch up. And at the beginning of, when was it? At the March rating list or so, it was actually very, very close. So number 3 to number 7, I believe. No, number 3. Yeah, number 3 to number 7 in the German ranking list were radius of 5 points close to each other. And in Germany, we have the rule that the first 4 places of the national teams are nominated strictly by rating, and the 5th one is up to the national coach, which is Jan Gustafsson at the moment. So I really wanted to make it into the to make it into the top 4 to qualify for sure. But now in March during the Austrian League, I unfortunately didn't manage to win my last 2 games where I had good positions and only ended up winning 3 games, making cross, but this was not enough to win rating. So actually, lost a little bit instead. So then I fell down from my 26-20 to 26-16, 4 points. And at the same time, all my competitors played good results, both in Austria and also at the Grenko Open now in Karlsruhe. And now they are like around 26-30, so quite a bit ahead of me. So now it's not looking too good anymore, my chances to qualify.
When will the team be decided? Is there a month? Is it 2 months?
The deadline is the 1st of June for this rating decisions.
The 1st of June.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have 1.5 more months, yeah?
Yeah, but it's winning 15 or more rating is quite tough.
Of course. I mean, if you don't play, you still can come visit me in Vienna, and we'll go to Budapest together because it's quite close to Vienna.
That's a
Uh,
good idea. I mean, I'm certainly planning to come to Budapest because I've actually never been there. It's like one of
yeah,
the cities
it's
that
a,
I'm missing on my list. So for
I'm
sure I
telling
will
you,
come.
it's one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. Like, different
Yeah.
topic. I of course in Vienna, like I have a lot of Hungarian friends who are from Budapest or close. And they tell me also like, you just like to come here because it's 3 or 4 days. But for them it's the same. They come home for Christmas or so. It's nice
Hmm.
for 3 and 4 days, and then Budapest is Budapest again. It's just nice for a couple of days. But I love it every time I'm there. You should visit me in Budapest for sure. But let's talk about it another time, yeah?
Yeah, I agree. But it's no, that's a plan. Um, Also, my wife Dinara, she will be playing for Germany there as well in Budapest, so it's also a good chance to meet her there.
Perfect.
Yeah, maybe you
Perfect.
can come along to Budapest. Actually, there's the famous Bermuda party the day before the rest day.
Oh,
Maybe something for you.
the audience will get the impression that I'm a really big party guy or something, and I drink alcohol every other day, but that's not even true. Anyways, do you have any other ambitions for this year? Still, also talking about your career in general. Let's talk ELO wise. Do you have a rating you want to get to? I'm sure you're gonna say you just want to play your best chess and see
Like
what's
every chess
possible.
player says, yeah.
Is that true?
No, of course I want to play good chess, but I would also like to, yeah, first of all, stabilize and possibly increase my rating even further. So I've been struggling a lot with the 2600. I actually reached already 2580 back then in 2015. 2015 was a great year for me, apart from becoming grandmaster. Also, played this tournament in Gibraltar, which, yeah, was a really nice tournament taking place back then. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore. It was a perfect location, very close to the sea, right under beneath the famous rock of Gibraltar, with the with the monkeys sometimes coming down to the hotel and so on. It's a really cool location. And for me, always also very important. I feel like I play much better when the place inspires me.
When the
Plus, there are
place
also many.
inspires you, or when you're close to the sea?
No, like my surrounding doesn't even need to be the sea. Just if I like it there, it's maybe something new or something I haven't seen before, then it gives me also some additional energy. Plus, when there are many top elite players around whose chess you can watch, is also cool.
Yeah,
Also
because
encouraging.
that's now referring to my point before. Actually, that's what life as like a full-time professional chess players like. You travel a lot, you play like
Hmm.
probably every tournament you go to, and for you it's exactly not the case. That's why I asked you in the beginning, like, how do you manage being so good? All the other guys, they're playing nonstop, they're training nonstop, and you have like a 40-hour work week, and you
Yeah.
still like you this was incredible. You told me you had your problems, let's call them, with the 2600 rating barrier, and you just crossed it while working full time. Now you're 2620, you're 2616. Do you think 2650 this year is possible?
Let's see. But I'm certainly bridging back towards this topic right now. When I started telling about this Gibraltar and so on, I had some storyline in mind. It will all make sense in the end. I promise. So
Point.
so back then I had a really good tournament. I finished sixth in some quite world class tournament back then, ahead of some like top grandmasters like Topalov, for example, who was playing there. And this was, I think, apart from winning the German Masters last year, this was one of my biggest successes in my life so far. And the special thing about 2015 was it was a gap year I took after school. So I did my Abitur in Germany in 2014. And then for 1 year, I was playing chess professionally, just to try it out how it's going. Back then, I was still an international master, so I wanted to collect my final grandmaster norms. And yeah, I was training a lot and playing tournaments all around the world. It was really exciting time. But yeah, I also always knew I wanted to not always stay a chess professional. I like it to have a second leg to stand on. And yeah, I also have many interests apart from chess. So I basically always knew I wanted to start studying something. That's also actually what I did. In the second half of 2015, I started to study physics in Heidelberg, and from that point on, I was not a professional anymore. So at the beginning, I still had some good results, and also this European Team Championship in Reykjavik, like I mentioned before. At the end of the year, I was playing well. So at the end of 2015, I basically reached 25.85 or something like this of a rating. But then in 2016, I started having quite bad results. So I was there was a side effects, I think, from studying, especially also physics. It was quite some work and dedication. Next to chess, of course, I was still playing some tournaments here and there, but I could just not play in the same intensity as before when playing professionally. Because if you don't play so many tournaments, if one doesn't go well, then there's not the next one coming up immediately to undo that. So I had some bad tournaments here and there and lost some rating points. And basically from 2015 to 2023, I was all the time moving in the range from 25.70 to 25.90 up and down, but without making any big jump forward. Had some good tournaments, then was something that didn't go so well again, but I didn't get this consistency in my results that I would like to, that I wanted. And it took me a very long time, really, until the end of last year when I finally managed to breach this barrier. It was even like at 25.99 at some point. It was quite dramatic. And then I played this Grand Swiss tournament, which you mentioned before, where I wanted to overstep it, and actually there I played a decent tournament, but still I lost some points in the end, like 10, and I thought now it's out of reach again, the 2600. I was already not worrying so much anymore about the goal because I felt like I had reached the level and will come at some point. But then I thought, okay, now it will take a while again. But then I had the German Masters in Rosenheim, and at the end of 2023 suddenly was going so well, and I managed to not only to win the tournament, but also to collect, what was it?
I think 20 or something.
20 rating points on the way. I forgot the concrete number, but it immediately took me to like 26.11. And that was quite nice. And the other point I wanted to make is that basically while studying, I was stagnating quite a bit with my rating, but I feel like ever since I finished studying and started, I didn't make another break there. After studying, I immediately started working at SAP as a software developer without a break, but I feel like since then my results actually improved. I'm still not just professional, but the type of work I'm doing now is somehow different from university, because at university was a lot of you basically didn't have like free weekends. There was always something new to learn, something to do, and it took a lot of mental dedication. And now at work, of course, under the week, I'm also working hard on what I'm doing there, but then there's a weekend, I've somehow managed to dedicate my brain better to chess than I did before.
And that's what you're actually doing. You're training chess on the weekends.
Yeah, exactly. Or when I'm playing tournaments and then I'm taking a vacation, and then I also like try to take as much as possible from it. And I took a vacation from work, so this is like gone from my head, and I can actually relax in a way by focusing on chess. And then when I'm at these tournaments, my whole mind is revolving around chess, and I'm really just all day preparing for my games, then playing them, and afterwards analyzing the games. And during these tournaments, also coming up with so many new ideas in the openings, and I just spend so much time analyzing, even much more than at home. Just trying to use it to the fullest.
You're mad, you know that, right?
Yes, in a way.
I mean, most chess players, I would call them mad, at least in some sense, but that's insane while working a full-time job and so on. I mean, actually, your wife probably helps you a lot, because I think she's focusing on her chess career, maybe even more than you, I would assume. What's her rank right now in the world? Top 20 already?
Yeah, she's what is she right now? Around 25. She's been for a while, and she's number 2 in Germany, but very close to overtaking Elisabeth Peetz, who has been number 1 for like 20 years or so, for a very long period.
Real fun fact: even my dad knows Elisabeth Peetz, because there's been a YouTube video by this German comedian. I'm curious if you saw that. He's coming into the chess club, and he's pretending to be like an Arab or something. and he's playing them, and he's trying to make his opponents mad. And Elisabeth Pats, I think she's like 20 years old or something. She's giving him all the moves via headset.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before.
No, what's his name? Something like that. I'll send it to you afterwards.
I think I know what you mean. I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I was getting interested in chess again, salute. When I was getting interested in chess again, that's the only chess player my dad ever knew. It was like, this little girl. I saw that clip. It was quite funny, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back to my question. 2650 is possible this year or maybe next year? When is 2700 coming? When is FIDE candidates coming? Let me know.
Yeah. So since I just breached this 2600 and also increased a little bit more since that, I would like to, of course, stabilize my rating there. And if possible, of course, I want to increase it above 2650 because that would automatically mean top 100 of the world. I would say this is my next big goal rating-wise. I think at the moment is only 2640. It always used to be 2650, but there you see the rating deflation that happened in the last years. That I would say it became even harder to maintain the levels. And now FIDE did some rating adjustments, so maybe it will develop a little bit the other way, but it takes some time till we see the impact of that. Anyway, like top 100, 2640, 2650, this is for sure my next goal. I don't know if I will be able to reach it this year or next year, but it doesn't even matter so much to me when I reach it. I just want to consistently improve and get closer and closer. And if it doesn't work out this year, then maybe next time just to qualify for the national team. It would be really nice for me just to play there alongside Dinara, that we would be both, not only both became German masters like last year, but also both playing in the national team. And that I can always have the chance to train with Dinara together also, of course, motivates me a lot. For example, now she has the European Championships upcoming, the European Championships for women, and they're taking place in Rhodos, Greece. She will be traveling there on Thursday, and now these last couple of weeks I've been also preparing together with her for this event, studying some openings with her, solving some exercises. That she's also so much into chess, of course, gives me a lot of motivation to work on it myself too. And that's a great opportunity that we can do that together and pushing each other.
Another question that popped into my mind right now. So, is there anything else in your life besides chess and your work? Because it sounds like you already got your full-time job, and then you're using every second in your free time to focus on that with your wife.
Yeah, of course, that's the biggest chunk of what we're doing. But of course, there's also other things we like to do. For example, we like to travel. Just at the beginning of this year, we did a trip to London that was completely not chess related, just to explore the city a bit, eat some nice food.
Yet. Okay.
No, not completely. Or we like to meet with friends. On the weekend, we went hiking, for example.
Okay.
So doing stuff that has nothing to do with chess.
And if you take a look at yourself, you're, let's say, 2600 player, like at least 2600. What's the difference between you and a 2700 player, like a Vincent Keimer, if you want to make that comparison, because also from Germany?
Yes, it's a very good question. I think it's not even so easy to answer. I think there are multiple factors. Of course, I would say the stronger the player gets, the more refined the chess understanding is, and the faster the calculation, maybe a bit of more experience in different types of positions, but all these are all like very small differences that are hard to observe, and maybe not even the most relevant one. I feel like maybe the biggest difference could actually be also like the level of confidence. Just you have this high rating, it comes probably from you showing very good results over some consistent amount of time, and then it boosts your confidence a lot. Like you're seeing now you're a 2700 player, so you not only have it on the paper, but you also feel like you're a stronger player yourself, and you become much more confident. And then you're just making this maybe the same types of decisions like 2600 players, but also just in a much quicker time. You're playing faster overall, and if you're making same decisions just quicker than all these other players, you're bringing them into time trouble and posing them more like practical problems. I think it's maybe it's practical play that makes a big difference. You know exactly like how to pose problems to your opponents, and they start cracking easier because you put them under pressure on not only on the position but also on the clock.
So it's like a It's like a lot of small things combined, and maybe I should not take you as a comparison because, like, if I compare you with, let's say, Mahmoud Yarov with Shaq, who's like 2720 right now, but he also was 2820 before,
Mhm.
sixth highest rating ever in the history of chess. But if you compare a usual 2600, 2650 player to a player like Mahmoud Yarov, what's the difference between them? Is it do you say it's just one aspect of the game? Is it like, okay, it's just the opening preparation. Like Mahmoud Yarov's been at candidates tournaments. He's prepped some specific openings. He knows them better. Is it the tactical vision? Is it the general character of the player? What is it?
I mean, of course, all these players are very well prepared, but I don't think the opening preparation is a big factor, especially nowadays that everybody has access to very strong engines and can come up with new ideas by themselves. I think, yeah, I mean, for example, taking the example of Mamedyarov, I know him quite well from Bundesliga. I'm always impressed of what a practical player he is. He's playing so fast, like he calculates all the calculations very, very quickly. So for him, I'm certainly sure that he's quite a bit stronger and faster in calculation compared to others. Maybe I think he also has a very good visualizations and of course this feeling for dynamics. And he just also trusts his calculation. I don't think for him it happens too often that he calculates the same line more than once. He just sees the lines and just plays them. And he puts a tremendous pressure on the clock to his opponents and always makes these decisions where his opponents can make mistakes. And he has a very good feeling for that. And I think these are like this type of practical play. Me and probably also some other players of 2600 level are still missing. We can play good chess, make many good decisions. Probably if you just give me a position as a training example, I'll probably find the same moves like the 2700 players. But like, yeah, this practical finesses, I think they're feeling them better and they know how to exploit that.
Mm-hmm. That's also, I think, what a lot of people were mentioning when they're talking about Magnus Carlsen. What makes him so good? He just has such a natural understanding because he was reading the chess books when he was like 3 years old, 4 years old. So he's consumed so much amount of chess at such a young age. He just has like a better natural understanding of the position, and he just it's like talent also in some sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the players of the older generation, like Magnus or so, it's first of all this
That's the
tremendous.
older generation.
He is already older generation. Chess became so young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for him, it's like this tremendous knowledge. I think also of classical games. So many chess examples. I've seen all kinds of ideas already. Just can he immediately feels what to do in every position. But at the same time, all these young players, for example, like we see the candidates like now, like Gukesh or Praggnanandar, you cannot argue they have this. They are so much more experienced than, for example, I am. They have all far above 2700 rating, but I think they are like having a different type of experience. I think they grew up with the internet and they're playing online so much. I think they just played already so many games, types of blitz games and all kinds of time controls, and is continuously experimenting with new openings and basically gaining the experience in a different way and the understanding for the positions.
Okay, now that you also mentioned the candidates tournament, let's talk about that. Did you have a favorite to win before the tournament started, where you were saying, okay, he's gonna win it for sure? Or
I was rooting for Hikaru now that he's also playing
of course,
for Viernheim and got a chance to meet him.
But
and
the thing is, he literally doesn't care, no?
Yeah, that's always the question. I mean, he actually, Dinar and me were watching his recap every morning because I find it really cool that he, after every game, no matter how he played, he just sits down and brings it down this recap, sits there for 20 minutes and explains his game. I think it's quite impressive.
Yeah,
find it very admirable. So we're checking this out. Also, just interesting to see his thoughts. And yeah, of course, a bit of a bummer that he lost twice to Vidit. Of course, taking his hopes back a bit, but yeah, he still has some chances overall.
Talking about the candidates tournament, who's your favorite to win apart from your teammate Hikaru, of course?
Yes, Hikaru is certainly the one I'm rooting for, and I actually also thought before the tournament he has quite good chances to win. Of course, now after losing these 2 games with Vida, it's got a bit more tricky, but still not over. I mean, today will be very important when he's playing against Abbasov. If he manages to get another win, it maybe his chances still stay alive. Otherwise, at the moment, keeping also the standings in mind, I think Nepo is probably the favorite to win it, but it all depends, I guess, on the game today against Gukesh. So if Gukesh manages to make an upset or at least make a draw, I think it's all far open.
Gukesh is doing phenomenally. I didn't have him on my radar, not at all. If it was one Indian to win the tournament, I was gonna say Pragnananda, but I don't know what happened to Gukesh. So
I
solid.
am also super impressed by him. But in general, all these young guys. I mean, it's the first candidates tournament. You would expect him to be still a bit of shy and being happy just to win a few games, having a good result. But no, they're just all out going for the title, for winning this thing. They're not scared of anybody. I find it so impressive, and they are playing all this entertaining chess. First of all, Pragnananda with all these cool opening ideas, like the Schliemann gambit he played there against Vidit. This I found quite cool, this game. Was basically sacrificing some pawns in every game. And at the same time, Gukesh is very solid and winning so many games all the time, really fighting, but making draws. He only had this one unfortunate loss against Firouzja, otherwise he would be even the sole lead right now. And especially also the strength of character that after losing this painful game, that immediately he fought back and to beat Vidit the next game in a very clean positional effort. And they also have this practical play that I mentioned before. They are really good in playing fast and putting pressure on the clock. Especially in these candidates without increment before move 40, it's very important. So yeah, overall, I'm deeply impressed how the youngsters are playing in this event. I would really, would be cool if one of them wins for sure.
100%. I also think Nepper's gonna do it. He has the killer instinct, but you know who also has the killer instinct, and I'm missing at the candidates tournament, apart from Magnus, of course, is your teammate, your other teammate, Nodivek.
Yes, of course. If he would be playing, it would also spice it up quite a bit.
Yeah, 100%. He's probably my favorite player of the youngsters.
The way he's, for example, was playing in Tata Steel all these last 2 years, always going all out, playing these crazy games, super ambitious. Sometimes very well prepared in the opening. Sometimes he's freestyling. You never know. Sometimes he's also just bluffing. It's very interesting to follow his games.
For him, I'm so impressed by his persona. I've never met him in my life in person, but comparing him to let's say Gukesh or Pragnananda, I don't know their goals. I'm sure they all want to be world champion. Who doesn't want to be? But maybe they have the realistic goal in their head. Okay, this year let's hit this elo. Let's play this tournament. Let's improve. Let's just play. But I think Nodibek only has one goal in his mind, and he's like, I want to be world champion in 2 years. I want to be world champion and nothing else.
Yeah, this is amazing spirit, and I think there's a lot of potential. I'm really curious. I mean, they all basically hit the top 10 now. Just curious how it continues.
Yeah, exactly. Let's come to an end. One more question I wanted to ask you. Which chess advice do you have for the viewers, which are maybe like a little bit lower rated? Do you have chess training tips? Also, what fascinates you about chess? And do you have one more last nice sentence?
All right. So regarding advice, I would certainly say that, especially when you're at the beginner level, the most important thing to study is tactics, and especially pattern recognition, because this is what you need to rely on in your games, that you immediately spot these kind of, there's a fork or there's this pin. You always just look at a position, and these patterns, these motives come to your head quickly. This is the most important, because it's the basis of all calculation, and also you cannot have positional play without tactics. So I think it's important to train that. In the old days, of course, you used to buy some tactic book and solve exercises from it. Nowadays, you have easy access to exercises online, may that be on chess.com, the Puzzle Rush, or the puzzles on Lichess. Both are very good. You can just sit down and try to solve these puzzles, and just to see how far you can get without making mistakes. I mean, there's no no time pressure there. You just delve into position, try to find the correct moves, and just by solving many and many of these puzzles, you learn to see the patterns, and then for me, for example, all these first exercises now, they can solve them always in a matter of seconds, just because I've already seen so many of these positions in my life that I just immediately know what is the trick there, the position, and this type of quick pattern recognition is what you need to achieve. And apart from tactics, of course, it's also important just to analyze the games you played. Not only just let the engine run over it, but just also to understand what was maybe wrong about the decisions, what can be improved next time, some general takeaways from the games. It's also important, also when you're playing online, because I think it can be quite useful to gain experience, but when you just play without actually checking what you did, it's not so helpful. So I basically, up to this day, I analyze all Blitz games I play online, at least like in Blitz tournaments. Just think it's useful.
Okay.
And regarding what I love about chess, it's just, I talk so much about patterns now. From an artistic point of view, I'm also a big fan of endgame studies. I really love it, all these geometric motifs in chess, how the pieces play together. There's always something new, something unexpected to discover, even after all these years. I feel like I know all the patterns, but then I solve some study and there's something completely new I've never seen. I'm like, what? How is this possible? And that's I find really great about chess, but also like I love the scientific approach that you have, for example, during opening preparation when you're analyzing chess. And last but not least, the competitive factor. At the end, chess is a sport, and I love sports. I love just displaying, trying to win. This is just giving me a huge kick, and it's like something I just enjoy about chess.
Amazing. Also, when a friend of mine asked me what fascinates me about chess, I also mentioned the geometrics factor, or in general, like mathematics, because when I'm looking at the board and I'm trying to find what's the best solution, what's the best continuation of the position, I'm thinking it's like a mathematical equation. I'm trying to solve it. I'm trying to get all the aspects in, and I'm trying to make the best equation possible. But
somebody once said that chess is like this unique mixture of art, science, and sports, and I just think it's true.
Exactly. That's also for me. I always get disgusted when I look at someone playing over the board and he's moving the pieces in such a ugly way. I'm like, it's a beautiful game, and it's like for me it is like some sort of art at least. So like make the most beautiful moves, not just from the positional view, but also try to play the moves more elegantly or in your style. Try to play it aggressive sometimes. Don't just move the piece from another position. But that's a whole nother topic. I want to thank you for coming on. This was the perfect interview for me, at least, and it was such fun. Thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you to the I want to mention once again, to the world's best non-professional chess player of the world.
Thank you too, Leo. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it a lot. Wishing all the best to you.
Thanks. See you next time.
See you.
Okay.